Mr. Steinman, a lot of homes are starting to have the conversation, family members, of course, parents telling their kids, going back into the old days, we were pressured to go become teachers and lawyers and doctors. But now the oil and gas conversation is the hype of the nation. A lot of parents are telling the kids, go study engineering, go study science, go science. We are not talking about lawyers anymore. We are not talking about teachers and doctors anymore. So capacity is what families are talking about when it comes to, the local capacity and why it is so important. But also when we talk about the trainers, who are the trainers?
That is a very, very good question. Because when you talk capacity, you're talking training, education, upskilling, and if there aren't knowledgeable people, if the lecturing side lacks, then the learning side also lacks.
Definitely. Yeah.
That's why at this point, many, not most, but many of the people that are preparing themselves for careers in oil and gas, they attend either universities in South Africa or overseas, where there are specific technical institutions that train you for a very specific career somewhere in the maritime environment. If you want to become a lawyer, you need a LLB degree, and then you must go for 1 year to the Justice Training Center. Now you get this disqualification. You are now an admitted legal practitioner of the High Court of Namibia. What do? You can't go and start a attorney practice, a law firm, because you don't have the money. You can't go and work for a company as a legal advisor. You don't have any experience. You don't know commercial work, that sort of thing. You see, so you're basically stuck in the generality of that training. And you are going to suffer for 5 or 10 or even 15 years until you get to that point where you have some specialist knowledge. Then only do you really become a lawyer and everybody starts noticing you. But it's a long process.
It is.
And that's also why you don't hear that parents advising their children so much, go SWAT law. They don't do it. Teaching, nursing, these are the professions that our parents wanted us to go do. Economics.
Yes.
And there's nothing as outdated as economics.
No, you can never say that.
Well,
that's why we're having these conversations, because it is very important. And without the economy, how will the country actually manage?
Well, I hope that we get good economists. But now, talking about the trainer.
Yeah.
Who has the knowledge to impart that to the new generation of young people that must fulfill all sorts of jobs somewhere on a ship or a rig or onshore in a supplier or in a stevedoring company. And I don't think we really understand. We haven't got our minds to grasp the enormity of what's coming in the sea. And this is why I made the point of a lawyer, where you get a very general type of education. And it's not useless. You have to have it if you want to become a lawyer, but it's a long road before you're there.
Yeah.
Now we send people overseas to Denmark, which is a big seafaring company, to Amsterdam. A big ship or an oil rig, where there are 2,000 people working on that oil rig. There's a safety officer. As a matter of fact, there are several safety officers there for various safety aspects, and they work shifts because it's like a small town out there in the ocean, 160 kilometers away from Oranjemund. Now, where do you find a safety officer? Do you know any maritime safety officers in Namibia? You see, there are none, because we never had that industry. But you cannot operate that rig without a whole department of safety officers. So now we send people to China, where there's a maritime school, or to Thailand, and we train them specifically for that job, to be a safety officer on a ship or on an oil rig. So with time, we will get the capacity. That's also part of capacity building, to increase the pool of local knowledge amongst the lecturing circles, so that we can eventually train our own people. And we're lacking a little bit on both, but we have started that process. It's at least on everybody's mind.
It is.
So the two are running parallel. While we are training or sending people overseas, or training them locally at the limited capacity that we have, like NIMT, we are also looking at training the trainers, so upskilling the lecturing side, so that eventually all the people that we need can be trained in Walvis Bay or in Dudres or in Oranjemund.
And let's quickly go for a short break, and then when we come back, we will continue this talk.